I'm Spencer Mazyck, and joining me now is Emery Harlan. He's the chairman of Gonzalez Saggio and Harlan, a minority-owned Milwaukee firm that was recently named to Microsoft's Premier Provider Program, which is a list of a dozen law firms representing the company's portfolio of legal matters and disputes. Welcome, Emery, and congratulations on your selection.
Thank you so much. We are really excited, and as I've mentioned, it's a transformative moment for the firm and frankly for the legal profession. So we're very excited to have this opportunity.
So before we get to Microsoft's 2013 list of preferred outside counsel, can you tell us, how did you begin working for the software giant back in 2009?
Well, we got to know the general counsel of the company, Brad Smith, as a result of a trade association that our firm helped to start, called the National Association of Minority and Women-Owned Law Firms, or NAMWOLF, which is the acronym. And we were talking to a number of companies about this trade association, which is really about encouraging major corporations to consider women and minority firms for some of their outside counsel matters. And one of the early companies that we approached about supporting our initiative, our trade association, was Microsoft, and that connected us with Brad Smith, who's the head of all of legal there. And when he heard the concept and saw the effort that we were putting into the initiative, he thought it synced well with some of the initiatives that the law department wanted to drive, and they were one of our first corporate supporters.
What type of work did you do for the leading technology company during those early years?
Some of the transactional matters, a variety of licensing agreements with customers, and then that eventually turned into work in a lot of different areas, including patent procurement and patent licensing work.
Last year, your team actually did the patent license agreement between Microsoft and RIM Research in Motion. Is that right?
That's correct. One of my colleagues, Neil Calvin, who actually used to be a lawyer in the legal department at Microsoft, was called upon to provide advice and counsel in connection with that transaction.
So let's talk about Microsoft's Premier Provider Program. What exactly is it, and why do you think it was created?
I think within the legal profession and corporate law departments, there has been a movement over the last, say, 10 years to really try to drive efficiency in terms of utilization of outside counsel. And I think a lot of companies have felt that they maybe were working with too many law firms and didn't have deep relationships with enough of them. So there has been a movement to consolidate the number of firms that corporations work with the idea of developing a deeper, closer relationship with a few firms, with the idea that that will drive efficiency in terms of cost, helping the law firms align with the company's business interests, and then ultimately be able to deliver better work for the corporation.
Yeah, so deeper relationships and obviously a measure to control costs. The program began in 2005, and what criteria is considered after a law firm is nominated for the program?
I think they're looking for law firms that obviously can perform work at the levels that Microsoft is expecting of its outside counsel. I think there's kind of a look to see if the lawyers they're working with are folks that frankly they want to do business with. I think for Microsoft in particular, they were interested in making sure that the firms that they consider align with their goals relative to diversity, and that there are diverse teams within the firm capable of providing services. And I think past track record is also part of the analysis.
So who else made this year's team? Isn't it mostly comprised of top AmLaw 100 firms?
Yeah, I think with the exception of our firm and maybe one other firm, I think the firms that have been on that list and will be on that list are all AmLaw 100 firms. I don't think they have publicly announced all the firms yet that made the cut. But based on what we understand, the firms are kind of the name firms that folks who are knowledgeable about the legal profession would recognize.
So, Emery, will the work that you do for the company, Microsoft, will it change now that you're a part of this elite shortlist of law firms?
Yes, in the sense that I think we will gain exposure, and there will be an effort on the part of the folks at Microsoft to expose us to different areas of the business. And already we have started to do work in the procurement area of Microsoft, an area that we really did not have much exposure to prior to being named to the list.
Prior to being selected, is it true that the Microsoft, the software giant here, that they worked with your teams to expand certain practice groups so that you would better meet and match their needs?
Absolutely. And so we have worked very diligently with their sales team to really gain experience in a broad range of the kind of commercial transactional matters that the company engages in with customers throughout the country. So that's an area in particular where there was a real conscious effort to help us really understand the business terms, understand the goals, and then to make sure that we brought our service to the level that they were expecting. We also have been exposed to some of their public policy work, so we are working diligently on some of the public policy initiatives that they have set for the organization, and we're very pleased to be gaining work in that area as well.
So earlier you actually said that this was a transformative moment for the legal profession and that your firm selection into this program is, but you've also been quoted as saying that this is a Jackie Robinson moment for the legal profession. What exactly did you mean by that?
Really, minority and women-owned firms have struggled to really find meaningful opportunities at major corporations in this country. And then when those opportunities have come, they've often been situations where maybe a firm is a local counsel for a company. In other words, if a company has a lawsuit in a particular jurisdiction where the law firm is based, then there have been situations where law firms have been successful obtaining that kind of work. And the work has tended to be in certain areas like employment and tort defense work. And our firms, when I say our firms, women and minority firms, have not been as successful getting significant engagements that matter to the corporations, things that will impact the corporation's ability to meet its profit expectations. So the firms that are on that list that Microsoft has established are firms that are handling their most important work. And it's an opportunity that really, at least to our knowledge, a minority or woman-owned firm has not been able to obtain.
And 70% of the lawyers at your firm are minorities and women, is that right?
That's correct.
How many offices do you have throughout the U.S.?
So we have 16 offices throughout the United States, and actually have lawyers in some other areas as well. But in terms of physical offices, we have 16. We recently merged with a firm in Pasadena, so we've expanded our presence on the West Coast. We're very excited about that. And, we certainly intend to continue to grow as our client relationships grow and deepen.
Before the merger, was it 122 attorneys in 16 offices?
I think that's where we were. And, as a result of the merger, I think we're going to be close to 130.
Well, and as you know, this list of preferred outside counsel that Microsoft has is not going to last a lifetime or an eternity. So when is the next review or update?
I think they revisit the list every 3 years or so. So I think that's probably going to be 2016.
I hope that your firm remains on the list for many years to come. So thanks so much for joining us today to talk about this Premier Provider Program.
Thank you very much for your interest.
For more information on this or other topics, subscribe to BloombergLaw.com. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you for joining us. Bye, everybody.